Now at 6, the EPA visits Caney, Kansas to address soil contamination. Plus, the Joplin School District presents its senior class with scholarships. And a student in Carthage receives the gift of music from a special teacher.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Environmental Protection Agency is in Caney, Kansas, seeking permission from residents to sample for contaminated soil. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
2 Environmental Protection Agency representatives are asking property owners in Caney, Kansas to have access to private residential properties for the removal and replacement of contaminated soil, specifically lead.
But they were operating under a different cleanup level of 400 parts per million, and since then we have new processes, new science, and it's just been an evolving process to see that 200 parts per million is more protective than the 400 parts per million level.
That's good. It seems to look quite a bit different than it was last time, so.
Really? Is that a good thing or a bad thing for you?
Well,
just more thorough?
If something's wrong, I want to get it fixed.
The EPA says this is a 3-year project and residents can expect sampling to start next summer. Since Caney properties were sampled back in 2017, the EPA still has records of the hotspots.
Just about every property was sampled in the past, so we have the field sheets. We know what sections of the yards are contaminated. So instead of waiting 3 years until remediation comes through to put in your garden, you could start now.
And for the most asked question during the discussion.
And I'll ask him real quick. Yeah. We're not responsible for anything financially on this, are we?
Not 100% for each
Yeah. I thought that's what I understood, but.
The removal and replacement of contaminated soil is at no cost to the property owner. Reporting in Caney, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
EPA representatives will be at the Caney City Library tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, the public is welcome. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty now for our first look at the weather.
Well, of course, a big warm up for us today. Temperatures shot all the way up into the 70s during the afternoon, and it's still, most of us are sitting mid to upper 60s to lower 70s once you get into our southern counties. So it's going to be mild as we go through the evening hours. A little bit on the breezy side. We have those southerly winds, which are kicking in 5 to 10 to 15 miles per hour. Throughout the evening, if you want to get outside, looks good. Slide back through the 70s, 60s, but some scattered thunderstorms trying to pop up later on tonight. Most of us after midnight. Nothing going on right now. However, a little wave just to the south of Dodge City. This is going to head toward us later on tonight. Again, the next several hours are going to be fine, but scattered thunderstorms will start to pop up mainly after midnight. So we're going to talk more about this and look down the road here in just a bit.
See you soon. MSSU teacher ed students had the chance to hand out their resumes to local school districts this afternoon. More than 50 school districts attended the Education Career Fair and shared their opportunities with Missouri Southern students.
There's definitely even a couple schools that I haven't even heard of that are around here that I've seen that are posting jobs.
At the end of this, we'll be setting up interviews. We'll look to hire rather quickly. And so if we can find the right teacher today, we'll look to offer them something this week.
A lot of school districts across the 4 states and the nation are dealing with a teacher shortage. The Education Career Fair was an opportunity for students and alumni seeking teaching positions and graduate programs. 17 Macaulay Catholic School seniors were presented with scholarship letters, adding up to potentially more than $20 million. Some students received offers for more than $1 million in scholarships coming from different universities. They are part of the VU Scholarship Partnership.
It's really helpful with financial situations and just to see what else, because if I want to do a graduate degree, it's going to be expensive and I don't want to be in debt forever.
We are a private school, and so parents pay for their kids to come here, and so we want to make sure that our partnership is a two-way street.
VU scholarships connected the Catholic school students with more than 30 colleges. Mercy Hospital in Columbus, Kansas celebrated the opening of a new infusion suite today. Officials say the suite triples the number of patients who can be served at one time while incorporating relaxing massage chairs in the treatment area.
What we're able to do now is we have 3 beautiful chairs, much more space, and that's going to help us keep patients from driving to outlying communities hours at a time, which you already spend time in these chairs as it is, but they're on the road, they're sick, they're not feeling well. Why not be able to get it at home, at your community hospital? This helps the patients, this helps their care provider, it helps everybody.
The new center will offer infusions for multiple medical conditions, including rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, osteoporosis, multiple sclerosis, and more. A music teacher in Carthage came up with a way for one student to be able to create music alongside all of her peers. KOAM's Anthony Saviello sat down to find out what the noise is all about.
The phrase controlled chaos can be used to describe an elementary music classroom. But among the noise is one student who stands out.
What is your favorite song in the entire world?
Pizza in the car.
Okay, Pizza in the Car.
Belinda Velasquez is a 3rd grader at Columbian Elementary. Her favorite teacher?
Mr. Sprinkle.
Mr. Sprinkle, okay.
Colton Sprinkle is the music teacher at Columbian, and Belinda says,
He helped everybody.
He helps everybody. And no matter what, he helps all his students?
Yeah.
Awesome.
However, Mr. Sprinkle says Belinda is the shining star.
Belinda's a lot of fun to teach. I wanted to make sure she had a way to participate that wasn't different than anybody else's.
He says he saw a need to make sure that Belinda would be able to create the same music as other kids and has received quite a bit of attention for it.
I was kind of shocked because I was just trying to do my job.
After some research, Colton found the perfect solution.
This recorder, it came to us in little chunks. So we could turn each chunk to the side or put it on the back and whatnot. So it's totally customizable, so she doesn't have to try so hard to get all of her fingers in a straight line.
Now Belinda can let the music play. She even taught me a few notes. Reporting in Carthage, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Now, in a statement released by Columbian Elementary School Principal Becky Chad said Mr. Sprinkle's actions are a beautiful act of kindness and inclusivity. Who can argue with that? Later in sports, some local high schools are going to hit the mat this weekend. John has details on which area schools will compete in the Kansas High School Wrestling Championships. But up first, a Missouri organization enlists the aid of man's best friend to bring therapy to a community in need. An animal therapy organization is offering free sessions for people dealing with the aftermath of the Raleigh shooting in Kansas City. Alan Shope takes a look.
We just want to open up.
Comfort Dog Sam is an 8-year-old Great Pyrenees St. Bernard.
He will just lay there. He'll let the kids waller all over him, pet him, play with him.
But Sam's strongest asset, he's really good at listening to problems and supplying some much-needed stress relief. Something Paws and Pals on the Independent Square says a lot of families are looking for after the Raleigh shooting on Wednesday.
It's so traumatic. I think that the biggest thing about it is they went to a place to celebrate and they left there so scared.
That's why Tanya says Paws and Pals is opening their doors to anyone who needs support coping with the tragic event, from kids to adults, with 3 special sessions this week, hopefully to let families and kids have
and understanding that this is a bad thing, but it's going to be okay.
Tanya says Paws and Pals has room for about 50 to 60 people per session, and every session is totally free.
Just come with anything, like any questions, any concerns.
She adds there will be around 8 to 10 therapy and comfort dogs, along with several therapists, just to sit and talk and relax in a safe space.
Are they afraid? Are they going to be able to go to another parade again? I want them to feel safe again. I want them to feel like our city is not an unsafe place.
A little later, a Baxter Springs football standout signs his letter of commitment. John's going to have details on the All-State Honorable Mention taking his game to Coffeyville.
Plus, we're going to be tracking a few thunderstorms later on tonight. Details coming up. Well, it turned out to be a great Wednesday today. Temperatures fantastic as we shot into the 70s during the afternoon, which is really good for the end of February, or at least the second half of February. It looks great right now. Here's a nice shot of downtown Joplin. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. Of course, we're looking northeast through downtown. We have a few mid and upper level clouds, but in general, it looks pretty good. All right, so some scattered thunderstorms later on tonight. We even have a very low risk of severe weather. So if we look at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is a level 1 out of 5. These are elevated storms. So we usually don't get a tornado threat. These are going to be more producing maybe quarter-size hail. So 10 p.m. to 3 a.m., hail and wind will be our threats as we go through the overnight hours tonight. As of right now, it looks good. Not a whole bunch is going on. Here's our wave just to the west of Wichita. So as we get, let's say 9 or 10 p.m., we'll start to get some thunderstorms kind of firing along the I-35 corridor and then start to head toward us later on tonight. But at least the next several hours, they look fine. Here's our scattered thunderstorms starting to pop up, rolling along Kansas-Oklahoma state line, pushing into the metro. Here's 1, 2 a.m. Again, not everybody will get the rain. They are going to be scattered. Thunderstorms roll east. Here's 4 a.m. Leftover showers, and then we look pretty good as we go through the morning hours. All right, evening planner for you. Dropping through the 60s. Again, thunderstorms popping up right around midnight. But look at our temps right now. It's mid to upper 60s to upper 70s once you get into our southern counties, which is kind of crazy. 7th, range line 67, southerly winds at about 5 to 10. Looks pretty good. It's windy. South winds 5, 10 to 15. And the gusts are going to be up there a little bit as we go through the next couple days. So tomorrow we get a northerly wind, but still winds gusting 20 to about 25. And then sticking around on Friday as well, northwesterly wind, kind of breezy at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow afternoon, as this storm system rolls out, we could get a few random sprinkles. It is going to be cooler, but still it looks pretty good, mid 60s. We start to clear out as we go into tomorrow night. A little bit cooler. We drop back upper 30s for overnight lows, and then rolling into your Friday, not bad. Most of us into low to mid 60s once again as we go into Friday afternoon. All right, morning planner 57, 63 by noon. High temp 65 for us tomorrow. And then as we head into the weekend, we get a fantastic weekend. Highs in the 60s and 70s. And then we'll start to track our next storm system. Bigger storm system, which will begin to roll in by next Tuesday and a Wednesday. All right, 65 tomorrow, 63 on Friday, 63 Saturday, 72 on Sunday, 76 on Monday. So the great temperature sticking around until we cool down by the second half of next week.
Yeah, but even then, not cooling down much.
No,
It'll be pretty
not too
nice.
bad.
Thanks, Doug. Still had several Southeast Kansas high schools send their wrestling teams off to the state tournament. We're going to hear from the state-bound athletes at Fort Scott, Frontenac, and Pittsburgh. That's up next in sports.
Kansas High School Wrestling State Championships take place this weekend in Park City and Salina. Several of our local schools will be represented, and this morning they celebrate their state qualifiers. We start at Fort Scott, where 13 Tiger wrestlers are state-bound, 7 from the boys team, 6 from the girls team. They get cheered on by their classmates walking through the hallway before getting onto the bus and heading to Salina. Now, the Tigers make it clear they're not just content with making it to state, they're hoping for a big weekend.
My goal going into state this year is to come out with a state title. Going into state, I'm number 2 in 4A and number 2 all class. It puts a lot of pressure on me. It means I got to perform when the time is right. And the kid I'll see hopefully see in the state finals. I've wrestled this year, and that's the only loss I have this season.
I think we have a really good chance to do something special this weekend, especially on the girls' side. We've got some pretty good draws in our bracket, and we're going to try to bring home as many medalists as we can.
At Pittsburgh High School this afternoon, the wrestling team packs up as they hit the road for state. The students and supporters of the team line the halls to send off 13 wrestlers heading to the Class 5A state championships in Park City. However, this year is a little special because it's the first time that both the boys and girls teams get to compete together.
Oh man, it's the state championships, man. So we're excited about it. This is the most kids we've ever brought to state, and it's the first time the girls and the boys are wrestling together. So we're just really excited to go out there and compete. It's huge, man. The girls, they used to have to wrestle Wednesday and Thursday before people got off of work and stuff. So now everybody will be able to enjoy it and cheer for each other together, and just be one big family, one big team, all working for the same goal.
Over to Frontenac High School, the Raiders have an all-school assembly this afternoon, cheering on their 9 wrestlers heading to the state championships in Salina. 6 members of the Frontenac boys team are making the trip to state. And with the Frontenac girls program just in the 2nd year of its existence, 3 female Raiders will represent the school at state for the first time.
I think it feels pretty cool just knowing that people 100 years from now are going to look back and be like, oh, those are the 3 girls, first ever girls who made it to state for wrestling.
It feels really cool, kind of feels like a little thing, but it's really not, it's a big thing.
The main feeling, I just felt relieved that I finally made it. Really accomplished, yes.
Switching gears to football, the Coffeyville Red Ravens have already picked up a number of local standouts in this year's recruiting class. Early this week, they add another, as Baxter Springs senior Peyton Gaines commits to Coffeyville, according to his personal Twitter page. Gaines will play wide receiver for the Red Ravens. Now, he was an All-State honorable mention at quarterback for Sports in Kansas with the Lions in 2023. Gaines joins Labette County QB Kendall Holtzman, Parsons running back Jamarian Washington, among other standouts from SEK, to commit to Coffeyville in the past month. And wrapping things up with Major League Baseball, Eric Hosmer announces his retirement. He was obviously a big part of the Royals' run to a World Series championship back in 2015. Hosmer was with KC from 2011 to 2017. He bounced around San Diego, Boston, Chicago since then. He holds the record for the most postseason RBIs in Royals franchise history. Back to wrestling, though, obviously going to be plenty of familiar faces from SEK that people are going to be able to cheer on in the state championships.
Yes, it'll be exciting to see how they do.
It will.
Look for updates. We'll be right back. Hey, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, here's an idea. You could download the KOAM News app. If you haven't done this yet, I kind of wonder why not? It's free of charge. You see the QR code on the screen. You can also find it on your Apple App Store, Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for KOAM News app. No better time than the present. Weather looking pretty nice down there.
Yeah, and if you don't have the Skywatch weather app, go ahead and get that one as well, because we're going to get some thunderstorms later on tonight. So it's going to be a little loud in spots, and some of these could even be low-grade severe. 65 tomorrow, a few sprinkles. Look at these temps. I mean, look at the weekend we're going to get this weekend.
Yes, it's looking like spring for sure. Final sports note.
Yeah, we're into high school basketball playoffs already across the board in Missouri. And tonight we have a couple of matchups in district semifinals. Lamar playing in one, Sarcoxy and Diamond in another. So we know we're going to have a couple of our local teams, at least one, in a district championship on Friday.
All right, looking forward to seeing how those go. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.